My girlfriend, 23 years old, of almost 6 years, and I, 24 years old, got into an argument at an anime convention while trying to get food. For context, we are on a tight budget, and we bought food for the week, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so that we wouldn't have to spend money on expensive convention food. We live within walking distance from everything, and we're both extremely picky eaters, so we decided that was the best way to go. So in my group was an old friend and someone we met at the convention, plus me and my girlfriend. After the event we were at finished, the group decided to get some food. The new guy suggested coffee, and everyone agreed. Long story short, we went to a food court, were met with extremely long lines, and decided to try something else. I mentioned that there were some food trucks I wanted to try down the street, and we left the food court and headed that way. When we came out of the building, there was a restaurant selling relatively cheap hot dogs and snacks. The new guy says, "Oh, lit, hot dogs," and he hops in line. I ask my girlfriend what she would want, and she gives me her order. I get her food, and I don't get anything. She looks visibly upset. I tell her I'm just going to get something from the food truck we were going to. She says that I needed to tell her I wasn't getting anything because then she wouldn't have got anything either. So I asked her if she wanted the hot dog, to which she said that's not the point. She said the group was stopping for hot dogs, which is not really what I wanted. But I was okay with it if everyone else was getting that too. So we basically had an entire argument about that. I got pissed because how is that my fault? I told her to stop trying to make sacrifices and just get what she wants in the first place. It sounds like she didn't really want a hot dog, and I just wasted my money on some food both of us didn't want in the first place. Why would me getting a hot dog, spending more money, make her okay with the hot dog she said she wanted? Here's where I might have been an idiot. I told her that when I'm out with my friends or alone, I never have a problem trying to figure out what I want to eat. But somehow when I'm out with her, I'm getting bitched out on the sidewalk about a goddamn hot dog. Also, I asked, why is it always up to me to make the food decision? She says it isn't, but that I need to communicate what I'm getting in advance, giving her enough time to make my decision. That just pissed me off even more because what does my food have to do with you? She says she might want to sample my food and choose differently based on what I get. For context, I don't decide what I want to eat from. I just kind of feel it in the moment. I like to get to the counter, see how things are, maybe ask for a recommendation or just go with my gut. So now I have to eat something from a place she's okay with eating, and I have to figure out what I want with ample time so that she can have some if she wishes, and I have to get something from where she's ordering? Why are there so many rules? It sounds like I'm having to jump through hoops out of consideration for her when in reality we both know I wanted a burrito. I just want her to function like an adult and figure out what she wants to eat without needing help. We're not 5. Why am I in trouble for not paying $5 for a plain-ass hot dog? As I said earlier, I don't like condiments. I can buy an entire pack of hot dogs for that. P.S. Obviously, this is a stupid argument. But that's kinda the reason I'm pissed. I feel like this is a dumb problem, and if aliens could reprogram her brain to just get something, my life would be that much simpler. Literally just fricking eat something. I don't want to break up over it, though. Comment 1. I guess this must be against the grain, but not the idiot. I can understand her wanting to know what you'll get, but it doesn't actually matter. She should get what she wants to eat, and so should you. I don't understand why it's that big of a deal if you're both going to be eating anyway. To me, I feel bad if I eat and my boyfriend doesn't, but that's just eating disorder stuff. Not that I have an issue with my boyfriend deciding he's not hungry. The whole time I was reading this, I was honestly just shocked that a 23-year-old is acting like this, but maybe it's normal, who knows? You both sound young though, let it go and move on. Comment 2. I want to say you're the idiot, because really, dude, how hard would it have been when you asked which hot dog she wanted to instead say, I'm still gonna go down to that food truck. Did you want something here or would you like to come with me? This is called communication with your partner. When you just ask what she wants instead, that's a pretty good indicator that you're planning on getting something here too. This is a stupid, childish argument that is beneath two allegedly fully grown adults in the first place. But seriously, dude, it doesn't hurt you to be considerate of your partner and communicate properly. Comment 3. You guys sound very young. For what it's worth, I can validate that I've never ever had issues getting food with the boys, but any given girlfriend is capable of turning grabbing a bite to eat into a fucking chore. Sounds like you'd benefit from setting boundaries and expectations. If she wants to be controlling and codependent and annoying like that, she's gotta do it on her own, 'cause that poop ruins the experience for you, not the idiot. Now, for the next story. My husband and I have been together for 5 years and married for 2. We met shortly after he moved to my state. I am his second wife. His first wife cheated on him and left him early on in their marriage. She came back after a few months because the new man abused her. My husband took her back because they had a child together and he was very poor and couldn't afford a divorce. He was unhappy after all that and developed feelings for one of his friends, Beth. She was also married. They slept together once. He realized he shouldn't have taken his wife back and he fell in love with Beth. He told Beth how he felt and asked her to leave her husband and said he would leave his wife and they would be together. She didn't want to leave her husband, so their relationship ended. But they had all the same friends in common and he never stopped being around her. She even got added to his phone plan and I found out she was on it 2 years into our relationship. But my husband has moved for work several times, and so they have hardly been around each other for many years. My husband divorced his wife for many reasons years after this. I met my husband 4 years after his divorce. My husband hasn't seen Beth for 4 years. We live in another state. They are friends now, but barely talk. Beth is now divorced, but in a long-term relationship. Last night, my husband was mirroring his phone to the TV, and we were looking at photos. Then Beth texts him. It was innocent, and I didn't care. However, I saw these texts from months ago. Beth, 1:49 a.m. So where to start? Probably not up this late due to your life choices. But I miss you. Beth, 12:24 p.m. the following day. Sorry about that ex's funeral. Lowell, drinking. Sometimes I am an AH. Husband, 12:26 p.m. Hi, no worries. I wish I could have been there. She was so young. Very sad. I hope you're doing well. Miss you as well. It's been a long time since I saw you. At least a few years. Take care. Smile. Beth, 12:27 p.m. Yep, I am having a hard time with her gone. I do miss you. His life choices are me and our child. I felt that was so disrespectful, and apparently so did she because she called herself an AH. But my husband basically said it was okay that he wanted to be there and that he missed her. I am very upset about it, but he is trying to downplay it, telling me that their relationship was over so many years ago and they barely talk. He just chalked it up to grief from her being at a mutual friend's funeral and being drunk. He never mentioned this interaction to me. I know he can't control her behavior, but him responding in that way basically gave her permission to continue to be disrespectful to his marriage and makes it seem like he doesn't mind it. Also, her text to him last night was not disrespectful, but she sent it at 11:30 p.m., and the first one was at 2 a.m., which I feel is inappropriate to be texting a married man at that time. So am I the jerk for being upset with my husband over his response? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Those texts could just as easily have been between my sister and me. Completely G-rated. You actually can miss someone without wanting to sleep with them, Many adults are still awake at 11 p.m., and 2 a.m. texts are an easy thing to do when someone is across the country. Time zones aren't always foremost in mind when sending a text message. The last time they even spoke was 3 years back. Do you show him each and every text the same day you get it? What a piece of work you must be. Calm down. You are the jerk. Comment 2. You are not the jerk. This isn't just any old friend, this is a friend he had an affair with, and one he was happy to end his previous marriage for if things had worked out differently. That's an entirely different matter, and if he can't acknowledge that, he's lying to himself so he can justify keeping this person in his life. Your husband made his choice when he married you. He now needs to make this choice again and probably let this person go if he wants this marriage to work. Comment 3. I would be having a serious talk about how disrespectful he is by talking behind your back like that and how it is making you feel. I would also ask him how he would feel if the roles were reversed and you were talking to a man you used to have feelings for. Now, for the next story. NP and former ICU nurse here. When we travel by plane, I am fearful of being needed for an emergency. I have finally convinced my husband not to respond when the flight attendant asks for any medical personnel on board. Perhaps this is the wrong way to feel, but without proper equipment, assistance, no history, and a bunch of looky-louse offering advice and criticism? No thanks. I pay enough for my malpractice insurance. No need to try it out. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. You're the idiot. I hope you or your husband are never in a medical emergency and need help. Comment 2. Info needed. Are calls for medical assistance that common around you? Now, for the next story. I am 59 years old and mother to Hannah, 42 years old, Jesse, 38 years old, and Thomas, 32 years old. I am originally from an immigrant country and came to the U.S. when I was just 16 due to being pregnant with Hannah. It is not a great place for being an unwed teenage mother or a woman in general, so my older brother and I came here. I met and fell in love with my now husband, Danny, 58 years old, and we had our 2 sons, and he adopted Hannah and has always treated her the same as my boys. My point is, even though I left my home country due to difficult circumstances, I am very proud of my culture and visit when I can. Family is also very important to me. I didn't get to see my grandma again, and she died in my home country, and both my parents lived and died there too, so it's important for me to go back when I can. This year, Danny and I have offered to pay for the whole family to visit around the Christmas holidays. This includes all 3 kids, Hannah's husband, their son, 9 years old, Thomas, his husband, and their daughter, 3 years old. Jesse is mad that his girlfriend Laura is invited, but that we haven't offered to pay for her. It's simply because whilst we like her, we don't know her that well, and they've only been dating for around 6 months. Hannah has been with her husband for 18 years, and Thomas has been with his husband for 11 years. Danny and I have gotten to know our sons-in-law over the years and consider them to be sons, whereas we have only met Laura a handful of times. I have every confidence she will become a treasured member of the family, but I do not feel comfortable paying for her just yet. Jesse thinks I am being completely unreasonable as flights to this country and accommodation are expensive, and that if I'm paying for Hannah and Thomas, I should pay for Laura. It is causing tension in the family with him accusing his father and I of favoring our other kids. Danny thinks that maybe it wouldn't be so bad to just pay for Laura if it means things aren't awkward, even though we don't know her, even though he's not entirely comfortable with it either. He does not do well with stress or tension and would rather not deal with hassle. Hannah thinks Jesse is entirely unreasonable and has been having fierce words with her brother, whereas Thomas has been distancing himself from it all. Am I the idiot? Comment 1. Not the idiot. 6 months is not long at all, and if I was Laura, I would actually feel uncomfortable knowing my boyfriend's family was going to pay for my trip. I have always tried to pay my own way, and that is such a high expectation on the family so soon, especially because a breakup is very possible after only 6 months. I don't blame you at all. I wouldn't want to waste my money either, just in case. Comment 2. Not the idiot. There's a huge difference between paying for 2 people who have both been a part of your family for over a decade and are the fathers of your grandchildren and paying for someone who you barely know. Your son is acting like a giant jackass, and I don't think you should back down at all, even if your husband is saying he wouldn't think it's a big deal. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Thomas seems to be the one with most sense. I would distance myself from such a squabble as well. Hannah needs to mind her own business. This is between you, your husband, and Jesse. Personally, I would just pay for them all. Being stressed before the trip even begins seems a waste of energy. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.